You know, sometimes the deepest wisdom isn't hiding in some huge, complicated book. Sometimes it's right there in front of us, tucked away in the beautiful brushstrokes of an old poem. Today, we're going to unlock the secrets of a 700-year-old Korean masterpiece. And what we're going to find is a timeless message about beauty and being true to yourself that honestly feels more important now than ever. Let's jump right in.
Okay, here it is. This is called Pung Ha, which means the wind on the lotus. It was written by a poet named Choi Hae way back in the 14th century. I know, at first glance, it's just a handful of characters on a screen, but I want you to think of this as a kind of treasure chest, one that's been locked for centuries. And together, we're about to find the key and open it up, one character at a time.
Now, before we get any further, let's talk about what these characters actually are. They're called hanja. And while, yeah, they look like Chinese characters, they were adopted into the Korean language a long time ago. They have their own totally unique Korean pronunciations and meanings. So as we go through the poem, we're going to be learning the Korean way of reading them. That's a really important point to remember.
All right, let's get into it. The poem starts by painting this incredibly delicate and specific picture. So let's unpack this first line and see how the poet sets this beautiful scene. Check this out. Just 5 little characters, but they create this entire world of imagery. It's describing a moment that's super quiet, super pure, right at the start of the day. So let's break it down. First up, we've got this character, Chung. It means pure or clear. So right away, it sets the whole tone. We're not in some chaotic, messy scene. We're in a place of total clarity. And the character right next to it is Shin, which means dawn or early morning. So you put them together, Chung Shin, and what do you get? Clear dawn. The poet is putting us right at the very beginning of the day, when the world is still and everything feels fresh. Okay, now for the last 3 characters. Jae, Pa, Yok. Altogether, this phrase means to have just now finished bathing. So you're probably thinking, who's bathing? Well, this is where the real poetry kicks in. The poet is actually talking about the lotus flower itself. So when you put that all together, the line reads, "In the clear dawn, it has just finished bathing." Isn't that a brilliant way to describe a lotus at sunrise? It's covered in morning dew, so it looks like a person who is fresh and clean right out of a bath. It's a perfect symbol of this untouched, natural state of purity.
So we have this image of perfect, pure stillness. But you know, good stories and good poems, they need a little conflict, right? In this second line, the poet introduces something from the outside that comes in and messes with that perfect peace.
And here it is, the second line, Im-gyong ryak bolji. Now, it talks about a mirror, but trust me, this isn't the kind of mirror you'd hang on your wall. The poet is being really clever here. These first 2 characters, Im-gyong, mean to face a mirror. So what's the lotus's mirror? It's the surface of the pond. The lotus is literally looking down at its own reflection in the water. Such a simple, beautiful image. But then we get these next characters, ryok bulji. This means it cannot hold its strength, or it lacks the power to stay still. All of a sudden, our calm, steady lotus is starting to waver. It can't hold itself steady. But why? Put it all together, and the line means, facing the mirror, it cannot hold its strength. And there it is. The wind from the poem's title has finally shown up. It's blowing on the lotus, making it tremble. And what happens when the lotus trembles? Its perfect reflection in the pond gets all blurry and unsteady. That image of purity is now being disturbed.
Okay, so this is the moment where everything pivots. The poem stops being just a pretty description of a flower in a pond, and it turns into this profound philosophy about life itself. The lotus isn't just a lotus anymore.
The metaphor becomes crystal clear. The lotus being shaken by the wind, well, that's just like a person being swayed by all the pressures from the outside world. You know, the desire for more money, for higher status, worrying about what people think. And just like the wind blurs the lotus's reflection, all those worldly pressures can make it hard for us to see our true, authentic selves. We kind of lose sight of who we really are underneath it all. So, if the wind of worldly desires is the problem, then what's the solution? Well, the last 2 lines of the poem deliver the answer with just incredible elegance and power. This, right here, is the heart of the entire message. And here they are, the big finale. Chung Yun Muhan Mi, Chung Jae Mi, Jong Si. These characters hold everything we need to know.
This first part, Chon Yeon Mu Han Mi, it translates to natural, limitless beauty. So the poet is telling us there's a kind of beauty that's just infinite,
It has no end. And the most important part is where it comes from. Chiln-yan. It's natural. It's not something man-made.
And here it is, the final piece of the puzzle. 청재미쟁시. This means it is all there at the time before decoration. That character Jung specifically means things like makeup or fancy adornments. So where is this limitless natural beauty found? It's found in the state before you add anything extra on top.
So let's just let that sink in for a second. Its natural, limitless beauty is all there before the makeup is on. This is the ultimate wisdom of the poem. Real beauty, real value isn't something you add. It's something you reveal by stripping away all the unnecessary stuff. It's the pure lotus in the morning dew before the wind of the world starts trying to shake it around.
So, what can we take from all this? The poem basically gives us a roadmap. First, recognize your own natural purity, that just-bathed feeling, before greed or wanting what others have gets in the way. Second, you have to identify the wind in your own life. What are the pressures that are trying to throw you off balance? And finally, embrace who you really are, knowing that your true value is in your authenticity, not in any external decoration or validation you might get. And that really leaves us with one final thought from this amazing 700-year-old piece of wisdom. We live in a world that is constantly screaming at us to add more, to want more, to be more. But this poem asks us to look in the complete opposite direction. It leaves us with a really simple but powerful question. Where in your life can you find more beauty, not by adding something, but by taking something away?